So some of you might have heard that I'm moving house, and I thought you might be interested to come along as I reverse engineer my professional smart home to a regular, boring
dumb home.
And what I mean by professional smart home is that this isn't a load of consumer grade IoT off the shelf nonsense. This is a system that you can create a successful business out of through selling it, installing it and servicing it. And the system that I have here in my home is an Austrian based company called Loxone. And this is a company that I used to work for back in the day as a partner coach. And as you can see here, they're a PLC-based control system, which means that they can be used for professional smart homes, commercial BMS and HVAC control, industrial controls and instrumentation, and any other custom application where you could use a PLC for the controls. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps I'm taking to reverse my smart lighting system, which is going to be an absolute nightmare, into the old, regular,
dumb lighting system
that we've got here. And I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, and all the things that I've learned along the way creating my home into a professional smart home. And this is going to be a series of videos where I detail the reversal of each smart subsystem. So the lighting, the heating, the security, the AV, and a few more bits. So make sure that you subscribe. Fucking hell. Spat on the camera. So back in the bedroom where the magic happens, and I'm not talking about that magic, I'm talking about smart lighting magic. So let me detail what hardware we've got. So firstly, we've got a ceiling light, and this has full RGBW capabilities, and it's got a built-in motion and brightness sensor. We got the pendulum slims. Again, they're full RGB, so one of those each side of the bed. And we've also got our touch surface, which is ultimately being used as our light switch. So if I just cycle through the moods, you get an idea of how the lighting works. So that's our night mode. So other than the bathroom, the kitchen and the workshop, that's pretty much the lighting for every other room in the house. This is what we've got in the bathroom. So we just got a couple of RGBW spotlights in here, and just cycling through the moods. And we haven't got any switches in here. The only thing that we've got controlling the lighting in the bathroom is that motion / brightness sensor. As we make our way into the living room, we've got a couple of smart sockets for the lamps, that's one. And then we've also got one here in our library as well. And then let's make our way into our kitchen. And that's really annoying because the lights are just turned on automatically. I was hoping to record that, but there's our motion sensor, which has turned on the spotlights there, and they're being controlled by a wireless dimmer behind this switch. And then we've also got LED strip under those units there. And my wife's gonna kill me. She's out at the moment, but she's gonna kill me because it's such a mess. But we're moving house, so I really don't mind. Right, and then as we come into the workshop, hopefully you'll see the lights coming on automatically. Here we go, here we go. There we go. So we've got a motion sensor up there. Well, you might have heard the relay trigger. So relay trigger here. This standard light on, 230 volt light. Also got another relay controlling that one there. And then the final thing, just for show really, is the LED strip around this panel bay. So there we go. And using the Loxone touch switch here as well to just cycle through the lighting moods. Double tap, switches everything off. And the light automatically comes back on and you're faced with a beautiful control panel. How do you like that? So how does it work? So we're in the workshop here, and this main controller, the mini server, has some relays built into it. So you can see here that I've got feeds going in, and then once I program that mini server to trigger that relay when I want the lights on, that then switches the live 230 volts and goes off to one of those strip lights. The LED strip light, how I've got that working, because I've had to retrofit the LED strip, we've got this airbase here, and this airbase is used for lots of other devices in the system. But in terms of the LED strip, which you can see there's a local 230 volt to 24 volt DC power supply being fed straight out of the mains there, that's then feeding a controller, a wireless controller, that's actually controlling what colour the lights are. And that controller is actually communicating wirelessly back to this airbase here. So here's the LED strip for the kitchen. And this is basically the wireless controller. So again, we've got a 24 volt DC power supply being powered by that fuse spur, which you can see it's a bit dodgy, but you can ignore that. Yeah, and this is basically communicating wirelessly back to that airbase, or that airbase is communicating wirelessly to this when, for example, I tap this switch. So this is communicating wirelessly back to that air base. It's going through that green controller, and then that green controller is programmed to switch the lights however it's programmed, which then sends that signal back to that wireless device, and that changes the lights. Let's get the hallway lights to switch on automatically. There we go. So this is a really nice product because I can literally just take off a pendulum with a 230 volt feed and swap it straight out for that. So the power for that just comes straight off the 230 volt AC feed that would be going to the pendulum in a dumb home. But then that also communicates wirelessly in a similar way to what we discussed for the LED strip and the light here. And then in terms of what it looks like in the app, and I'll try to not knock my phone over here, but we've got our lighting controller block here. So we can open that there. And then this is where we set our different lighting moods. And if I tap one of these, I'm not sure if you can see it in the film, but this is now changing the lighting mood. And then we can go into that lighting mood by clicking more. And then we can edit the moods here again, or we can change what that lighting looks like. So the moment you can see with the LED strip, I'm cycling between these different colors on a 10-second time interval, and the brightness is 100%. And with the spotlights, you can see that they're set to 40%. And it's pretty much exactly the same thing for every room in terms of the lighting within the app. So this is my house, and we're just going to go into the programming software. So I've got 3 controllers in my house. The one in the workshop is there. I've got one up in the loft, the gateway, which is like the master controller, master PLC, and then I've got a third wireless one in the lounge. So all of those work together. The gateway mini server is the master. Then I've got 2 client slave mini servers in the workshop and living room. Yeah, so here we are in the study, which is the room that I'm in at the moment. And if we change that to start live view with manual value adjustment, and then what that means is I can simulate and mimic in real life, real time, things that are happening in the field through the programming software. So if we move into the lighting controller here, and this is like the main control for the lighting, as you probably noticed. So you can see that ceiling MO is the motion sensor. So if I stand still for there you go, it's just gone off. If I then move, that then triggers a motion sensor, which can be used to extend the lighting if I'm still present in the room, of course. And then what we can also do is I can simulate me tapping that light switch that I've shown you. So if I tap that now, let's imagine that I'm at the wall and I'm tapping through the lighting moods. There's one, there's another. You probably can't see it too clearly because it's light outside. But what you can see over here, the ceiling light, and I've also got LED strip around my desk. Actually, I didn't show you that, but you can see as I tap through the lighting mood, you can see that it's changing on the output side over here. These are all the inputs on the left, and these are all the these are all the outputs on the right. And there you go. You can see I'm cycling through the different moods, which is changing the levels of the RGBW ceiling light and also the RGBW LED strip. And then we've got various other things that can affect the output side of this lighting controller, but I'm not going to spend too much time getting into all of that. For example, if someone rings the doorbell, and then we've got various other things that you can see here on the left hand side, inputs that can affect the outputs. So things like disabling the motion sensor. If someone presses the doorbell, we can flash the lights in whatever room you want, in this case the study, and there's various other things in there as well. So yeah, I'm going to do the ceiling light in every room first, the easy bit. and it's exactly the same in every room. So I'll talk you through doing it in the guest room here, and then it's exactly the same for all the others. So let's do that now. So the cool thing is there's a metal sort of don't know how to explain it, like a safety cord, if you like, that's meant to kind of stop the strain on the cables here. But yeah, my one's a bit too short for the actual electrical cables here. There you go. It's meant to stop that from happening. So yeah, what we've got here is obviously what you'd see to a standard pendant, and I've just extended those cables a little bit, and they then go into that connector, which then goes on those pins there, L1, protective earth and neutral. So that's the power for this light. And then the communication between the light switch there and the main controller is all done wirelessly. So this is like a very nice retrofit product that can be installed ultimately through the existing 230 volt infrastructure and then the built-in wireless technology. So anyway, I'm just going to revert that back to a pendulum. Pretty standard stuff, guys. I'll put you on a laps to see how that goes. Okay, low on battery, guys, but yeah, the next bit, the switch, and I'm going to do the same thing in every room, and this is just a battery operated wireless switch. It can be used for more things than just lighting, but you usually have the lighting in the center of the switch. You have, what is it? I think audio on the right hand side, so we can change audio on the right hand side, and then we can change blinds on the left hand side. By default anyway, you can program it however you like. But yeah, this is just a retrofit battery powered device, communicates wirelessly back to the main controller, and all I'm going to do here is just change that wiring and switch it back to a regular switch. All I've done is I've just Wagoed off the cables here, feeding the pendulum light. So that's what I'm going to do for all the rooms, and then I'm going to get back to you for the more complicated, annoying bits that I'm really not looking forward to. So I'll be back with you in a bit. Just a quick one, guys. If you're looking for free training courses in smart home automation, commercial BMS and industrial controls, click the link below and we'll sort you out with some free training. So this is the first phase done. Ceiling light replaced here, back to a regular rotary dimmer there. Same in the hallway, although we've got a switch. Come up the stairs, got a missing light bulb there, but we've got two-way switching down there for this light here. Study's done, master bedroom's done. So now, next thing I'm going to do now is swap out these Loxone spots for regular spots. Also going to go through the ventilation, remove that motion sensor, and probably put the pull cord back there. So yeah, just regular 230 volt spots are going to go in there, and I'm going to be removing those pendulums. So then that'll be all of the lighting for upstairs done. Okay, so this is the controller and small panel up in my loft. So yeah, not to the best of standards, but it's kind of what you get when you're doing your own home. So what we got our main controller here, and this is actually acting as the master controller, and then I've got two other controllers that are acting as slaves. But in terms of the pendulums in the master bedroom, what we've got 24 volt DC as the power, and then we've got comms over this tree cable. And what that's doing is it's leaving the panel, that cable there, going over there. Where's it gone? Yeah, it's going up here. So the white cable is just 2-core, and then this black cable is just cat cable. The cat cable is for the comms. So it's going up there, across the roof, and then down here. And then that's going to the first pendulum over there via this connector block where we're just distributing the power and the communications. So that's the first pendulum there. And then the second pendulum is in the corner over there. And we're just distributing that power, 24 volts on the white flex, and then the comms, the communication, on the black category cable. So yeah, it's just a pretty simple case of disconnecting these cables in this Wago junction box, unscrewing the pendulums, and that's pretty much it. So I'll pull those out and I'll get back to you. Okay, I knew that would happen. Okay, so now we're into the bit that I've been dreading. Let me show you. So yeah, we're in the bathroom here and you can see the humidity is set to, or is reading 63%. And these spikes here, I don't know if you can see, but when they go over 80, it tends to be when someone's having a shower. And then what happens is once that gets over to 80, this humidity sensor senses the humidity and then sends a signal back to the Loxone controller, and then this fan switches on, this extractor fan switches on. So let me try and demo that for you. Shower on. There you go. So it's gone over 80% now. Let's have a look at the graph. Takes a little bit of time to update. Turn the shower off. But yeah, that's now triggered the fan, and you can see it on the lens. But yeah, that's triggered. As you can see, the humidity has triggered the fan. And then in terms of the lighting, very similar to the pendulums that we had in the master bedroom. So we got a 2-core flex for the 24 volt DC coming from here, power, and then we've got the black cat cable as comms. And you can see we're going to one spot here and one spot over there. Yeah, and then these are the notes that I was making when I was making all of this smart. So now I've kind of just got to work out what I did and put it back to how it was. So that's where the supply is for the fan. That's where it's coming up. And then, yeah, it's just a matter of, the spots are going to be quite easy. But yeah, it's just a matter of putting it back to how it was. So I'll get back to you when that's all done.
All right.
Well, I've got to say that's the least amount of fun I've had in a long time. I don't know how people work in and out of lofts on a weekly, monthly basis. It's just so frustrating, so annoying. So, it seems to me, so unproductive. Yeah, so just so faffy. Anyway, that is the Loxone spots out and just the standard 230 volt spots in. So here we go. We got our lights in there, and then we got our fan connected up, just as standard, sorted. Oh, and I've removed that sensor there, and I'm just about to remove that motion sensor there now. So final thing now really is just to disconnect all these outgoing cables. I'll probably remove these, make that feed from the smoke alarm circuit safe, and then yeah, that's it, done up in the loft, thank God. Hello everyone, it's the next day. I had to take a break from all that work in the loft. I just hate it. I just cannot stand working in lofts. They're just so cramped, it's so awkward. Like, you can't really organise where your tools are at. I end up forgetting stuff, so I'm up, down, up, down. I'm sure people that do it regularly have some sort of system, but yeah, I just absolutely hate it. So yeah, didn't enjoy yesterday. But today it's the final little bit of the lighting. You may see that. It's a little magnet on my ear. It's been going on for like the last 2 weeks. Keep getting like cauliflower ear from jiu-jitsu. So I keep having to syringe all the liquid out and then put this magnet over it to stop it swelling up again, but it doesn't seem to be working. And I hit it really hard again last night. So yeah, that's why I've got this, just so you know. Anyway, so today I've already removed the LED strip under these cabinets, which I'll get into in the next video that I'm doing. I'm going to focus fully on reverse engineering the workshop, so you'll see that in that video. But yeah, what we've got here in the kitchen, you can see the motion sensor there in the middle, and then we just got 2 circuits. Sorry, actually it's 1 circuit, just dimmable spots, and that's being cycled through using the switch here. So yeah, putting that switch back to just a standard 2-gang switch. Those are going to stay, and just a matter of removing the motion sensor. And you'll also see the wireless dimmer that I've got behind here. So I'm going to do that now. So yeah, you can see this dimmer, this Loxone dimmer is just clipped into the back plate here, but I didn't have deep enough, or this is a stud wall, so it's not deep enough to house that in the back box. So I've had to like pack it out a little bit with whatever this is. Patris box, is that what they're called? But yeah, what you've got here is this is only controlling one circuit. Even though it's going out to two different lighting circuits, it's only one circuit in there, so it's only one dimmable output, let's say. That's a better way to put it. So we've got the feed coming here in the middle, and it's feeding in and going out, off, out, somewhere else. And then we got one lighting circuit here, and then the other lighting circuit over here. So on the far left and the far right are the lighting circuits, those spots that you saw on the ceiling. So the final thing is just to remove the motion sensor. And this is just a battery operated wireless, see the batteries there, wireless motion sensor. Also has brightness built in, so if the level of light in the room through natural light is already sufficient, then it can detect that and then can be programmed to know not to bring on the artificial lights. And these also double up as a security PIR as well. So pretty good devices, these. Cool, so this is what's pretty much come out of the kitchen. LED strip, there was a controller on the end of that, a wireless controller. So LED strip that was under the kitchen units. This wireless dimmer, so that was for those spots that you saw. And then we had the switch here, and then we got the motion sensor and brightness sensor there. So those were the four things that made up the lighting in the kitchen. Yeah, I was really hoping to have enough time to go through the reverse engineering of the workshop. Some audio up there, motion sensor, lights, and this beauty here. But I'm not going to have time, unfortunately. So yeah, because I'm moving house, unfortunately not going to have enough time to film all the reverse engineering of the workshop, but I am going to reverse engineer the LED strip around this panel bay, and this is exactly the same process as what I've taken, using the same equipment as well as the LED strip that I had under the kitchen units, and also the LED strip around my study desk. So let's get into what all this equipment is and how it's put together. Yeah, this is what we've got around the frame. So yeah, it's just basically, as you can imagine, LED strip with a diffuser on some aluminium profile. So it goes all the way around. And then our power supply, as you can see, it's just plugged into the mains. This is 24 volt DC power supply. And then it goes to this wireless controller here, which communicates wirelessly back to this wireless base here, which then feeds back to the main controller. So that's how it communicates. And then the power, as mentioned, power supply into the driver or controller, and then you can see that goes off to the LED strip, so RGBW. And it's as simple as that.